Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Meg and today I'm out in the garden. It is a beautiful day. It's March 1st. It is the first sunny day in months, and it's crazy how like the first sunny day can just make you realize how dead inside you have been all winter. I finally feel like I'm living. I'm like, wow, I'm alive. The sun is a crazy drug and I'm enjoying it today. I'm very happy. Today and a couple of the days following, we're gonna be doing garden cleanup. The garden has not been touched since the fall. I haven't touched it. I've been a little busy. I had cancer, I had surgery. I'm still kind of trying to figure out like some health things going on. So it's been an eventful past 6 months. It's been stressful. It's been all of the things, and I've neglected my garden, and that's fine. Life happens. And actually neglecting your garden over the winter is probably the best thing that you could do for your backyard garden ecosystem, because beneficial insects, they love when you leave dead things. They like all of this dead stuff that's still here from the fall. The beneficial insects are like, thank you. I'm going to show you guys the state of the garden right now. It's pretty messy. Like, even though I like to leave things for the beneficial insects, the way that the garden is right now is like extremely out of hand, like weeds everywhere, like things that I definitely should have been doing for just upkeep, I have not done. So there's a lot of work to do. March is go time. It is go time. Those of you that live in North Carolina, March is go time. We're starting our seeds. We're getting our beds prepped. We're getting everything ready because April is like the true go time. I guess March is like pre-go time. So since April's the true go time, March is the time to prep. It's the time to plan. It's the time to do everything I'm going to be doing this weekend, cleaning out all the dead stuff, topping up all of the beds with compost, getting like some mulch down, and just getting everything ready so that when our seedlings are ready to go into the garden, they can just go into the garden and like everything's good to go. I'm actually calling in reinforcements to help me this weekend. One, because I just had a lumbar puncture on Monday. My back is still really sore from that, and so I'm trying to like take it easy and not do a lot of like manual labor, heavy lifting, things like that. So I'm calling in reinforcements. My fiance is going to be helping me. I even called in my brother to help. So he's coming tomorrow and helping just like haul the compost to the beds. I'll show you guys more about that when we get to it, but let me just show you what the garden is looking like right now. So here's what we're looking like right now. Lots of things are dead, lots of beds are empty, lots of grow bags are empty. There's some things that are growing. There's a little bit of green over here, just some random things that I kind of chaos gardened back in the fall that overwintered, but we've got to get rid of all of this. We are going to clean up all the leaves. Oh, wait, hold on. This is so important right now. This is so important. Look, it's the first daffodil of spring. How perfect. Oh my, I'm so excited. I'm so ready. So all of this is gonna get crunched down into small pieces. It's going to go into the compost so that it'll break down and we can return it to the garden eventually. When I say I left everything, I mean I left everything. This is marigolds from the fall, just kind of chilling there. So I'll elaborate on what I meant by it's good to leave things until spring. It's so good for your garden ecosystem to leave garden cleanup as much as you can until the spring, because beneficial insects, bugs in general, they need things to overwinter. So they will overwinter under dead leaves. They will overwinter in the hollow stems of your dead perennials. So I always say when you are cutting back your perennials, preferably leave them until spring. But if you're cutting them back in the fall, at least leave like 2 or 3 feet of stem that are hollow so that our native bees can burrow into them. I'll show you an example. So this here is an old sunflower stalk that I just left there. It's actually still attached to its stake. I cut down like as much of it as I could, but I left the rest of this here because to expose the hollowed out stems. So there's actually something in here, I think, probably a native bee. They like to bore into these stems, and this is where they kind of hide out over the winter. Here is another example. I left this Mexican sunflower here because it was full of seeds, and there's not a single seed left in these flower pods. The birds have been eating on these all winter, and part of your garden ecosystem is the wild birds as well. So I always try to leave any kind of seeding plant that I can that birds can eat over the winter. I try to leave it for them over the winter, and in return they kind of help me chaos garden a little bit, and I'm hoping to have a bunch of wild Mexican sunflowers just kind of pop up in my garden where I don't have to do anything to plant them. The birds plant them for me. Also, a lot of greens that overwintered are starting to bolt. This is arugula that's bolted. Once arugula bolts, it's bitter, it's gross. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of this, just kind of pulling them out. Actually, I should be cutting them at the base, but it's fine. I'm gonna be pulling them out, and this is why I love having chickens. Nothing ever goes to waste with chickens. They love the arugula. By the way, speaking of the chickens, they have started to lay eggs again. They've started to really ramp up their egg laying process. And another thing that has ramped up is the broodiness. I have one chicken that, actually I have two chickens that tend to go broody, but I have one chicken that is so determined. Like, I honestly feel bad for her. I kind of have thought of maybe rehoming her to a farm that would allow her to raise chicks, because she just goes broody every chance that she gets. And what I mean by going broody is they want to hatch chicks. It's just this primal instinct in them. And they want to raise chicks so bad that they neglect their health. They don't drink water, they don't eat, they just sit on their nest all day, every day. They sit on the nest of eggs. And Mavia is so broody that she will sit on a nest even if there are no eggs. And she's broody now, of course. The second that the temperature starts rising, she's like, I want to raise chicks. And we can't have chicks here. I don't have a rooster. I'm not allowed to have a rooster in my neighborhood. So these eggs are unfertilized and they're not going to turn into anything. But she thinks that they are. So let me show you the broody mama. You'll know that a chicken is broody immediately because they get very angry and they puff up. Like, look at how puffy she is. And they make this clucking sound, very distinct clucking sound. That means she is broody. They can even get kind of mean and aggressive, but Mavia, she's pretty chill. You wouldn't peck me, would you? Or would you? I don't know. Actually, you might. But she is probably sitting on a clutch of eggs because I have not collected eggs in a couple of days, which is kind of my bad. Oh my goodness. Yep. You're on a bunch of eggs. Okay. Come on. I'm going to take her out. I've got to basically force her to come out and go drink water and go eat so she doesn't starve herself. I'm going to have to go and get my egg basket to get these eggs. But look at my rainbow eggs. They're so pretty. I finally have a little rainbow going on. So what you typically do for a broody hen is you try to break them. And that just means like separating them from the nest and for a couple of days putting them in somewhere isolated with food and water, kind of forcing them to drink food, kind of forcing them to eat food and drink water and forget about their want to be a mother. And it sounds cruel. It feels cruel. It feels like you're putting them in jail, but it's necessary because I don't want Mavia to sacrifice her health. So I call it broody jail, and I've got to put her in jail. Like probably tomorrow, she's gonna go in jail. Now she's out and she's eating. I just threw them some treats. So she's eating with everyone. Anyways, back to the garden. I'm not doing anything today. Today's goal is just kind of, I'm out here, I'm enjoying the sun, I'm walking around, I'm seeing everything that needs to be done. I'm getting a game plan for the rest of the weekend. Oh, another thing, let me show you. Usually don't do this, but I kind of left all of the structures. I mean, this garden has not been touched since the fall. So I have all of these like tomato cages that are still in place. We're gonna be taking all of these out, putting them away. Then I'm gonna plant out my garden and I'll add them back in as necessary, deal with all the structures as well. This is another story. This whole thing is gonna go. So this whole thing actually blew over in the hurricane that we had back in, when was that? Like August or September here in North Carolina, pretty gnarly hurricane. This whole thing blew over. Miraculously, it didn't affect all the loofah that were growing on it. Like we just pulled it back up and we took these tomato cages and just kind of like added them as supports and tied them with twine just to get it up. So this whole thing is gonna go because it is broken. I've debated on if I'm gonna replace it with the same thing. So this is the trellis from Gardner Supply Company. I think it's called the squash trellis. I will link it down below for you guys. But I've been debating if I want to just reorder this trellis or if I want to go with a cattle panel trellis like I have over there. The problem is we don't have a truck, and when we got those cattle panel trellises, we were borrowing a truck from someone, and I don't really want to do that again. So this can just show up like at your door. You order it and it ships to your door. You put it together. This lasted me for 3 years before it blew over. So, and it did blow over. So if you live somewhere where you have a lot of hurricanes, we usually don't here in North Carolina. That was just kind of a freak thing that happened this past year. I don't know if it's like the sturdiest thing, but I think I'm willing to take another chance on it, and I'm just gonna replace it with another one. This entire area over here is an absolute mess. A mess. There's weeds, there's things that need to be cleared out, there's blackberries back there that I need to prune. It's just, yeah, it's a mess. So clearing all this out, we're gonna add some compost because this actually is like a whole flower bed. There's a lot of like summer bulbs that pop up here. There's some perennials that grow here. So just gonna replenish the soil there. Need to do something about this bed. This is an atrocity. This grow tower, I need to replenish it, rip everything out. I'm gonna be planting all of my strawberries in these grow towers this year. The reason that I'm transferring all of my in-ground strawberries to containers is because they are becoming highly invasive in my garden. Let me just show you. They are taking over the entire garden. So I got to do something about that. And I don't know why I planted them in ground. Looking back, it wasn't smart. Strawberries, they can spread really easily. You have to stay on top of pruning them. And I think I planted them in ground because I was like, oh, that's fine. I'll stay on top of pruning them. It's not a big deal. But then, you know, life happened and I wasn't there to prune them. And this is what happened. So this, under all the leaves, is all strawberries. Yeah, it's crazy. They were just like right here and they spread all the way out here in one season. So I'm going to be ripping all of these out, transferring them, as many of them as I can. And that's not the only patch. Well, let me show you the other patch. So here is the other patch. It was just like right here, and now it has taken over everything, and it's even kind of trying to squish out my chives that are here, which I don't like. I love my chives. I want them to stay there. And this is supposed to be a walkway here, and yeah, they're covering the walkway. So all that needs to be addressed. There's so much that needs to be addressed. This is why I'm out here. I'm trying to like prepare myself for this weekend and all of the work that needs to be done. Over here, our patio is a mess. Need to clean the table, the chairs, the rug. Need to spray it down, power wash everything. And then over here, this bed was just kind of left how it was. So look at all these peppers. all these like peppers that just stayed on here and dried. I'm hoping to get some little volunteers, like lots of volunteers in this bed. I'm actually surprised that I don't see any yet, but actually it's a little too early. Another thing that needs to be addressed is all of these weeds. All of these weeds. This is basically grass that's like popping back up. I think we're gonna take some cardboard, put it down, kill it, then put more mulch on top. Grow bags that have my trees in them. This is my mulberry tree. I need to top up the grow bags with soil because they have lost like a lot of soil, and that's why they're like kind of concave like this. But look at my mulberry tree. There's some blooms happening, little buds that are coming about. Also, my little nectarine tree right here, it is starting to bud up as well. That makes me so excited. I'm so happy. Some bagged compost here. It's ready, but this is not all the compost. I have an entire like bulk thing of compost sitting out in the front yard. This is just for like the potted stuff. All right, I think I've got a game plan. Tomorrow starts garden cleanup day. I'm ready. I am excited. And I need to start seeds this weekend as well, but that's gonna be a totally separate video. It is garden game day today. We're back. I'm gonna start by ripping out all of the dead plants that need to be ripped out. I'm the only one that's allowed to touch the plants because I'm the only one that knows the plants, and there have been mishaps in the past where I've asked my fiance to pull weeds and he accidentally pulled really important plants. So lesson learned, it was a whole thing. I'm the only one that's allowed to touch the plants. So I'm gonna go through and be ripping out all the dead plants. My brother's here. He's gonna be coming behind me and kind of bringing me compost, because the compost I ordered it in bulk and it's in the front of the house. Garden is in the back. So we're gonna have to wheelbarrow compost from the front to the back. So he's gonna be coming behind me and bringing me compost because the beds are really depleted of soil. They need nutrition, they need volume, they need everything. So basically what I'm doing in this bed is I'm going to take out all of these structures. I had peppers planted here last year, and so these were the cages supports for all of the peppers. So these are so brown and crispy that I can literally just kind of grab them and break them up. Gently pull them out of the ground. Some radishes that overwintered here, but they didn't really bulb up because I planted them too late. So they're really just greens, and I'm in a cleaning mood. So I can eat these greens, I know, but I don't really want them. I'd rather just give them to my chickens. So I'm just gonna pull out all these radishes, and the chickens are having a little snack day. They're already getting so many garden greens. I've had these pepper supports for the last 3 years, and they're just the cheapest things. Like, you can get these at Lowe's for, I think they sell them for $1 a piece, and they're the small ones. And peppers don't really need a lot. Like, you just stick one of these around them and it just gives them a little bit of support, because peppers grow outwards and bushy, and then when the fruit is setting, it'll like droop down. So this just gives those branches some support. And all of these leaves, I don't want to like burn them or anything because there may be insects that are overwintering in them. So I'm just kind of taking them like this, and I'm putting them over here, and then I'll like rake them into piles in the garden, and I'll leave those piles until it gets a little bit warmer, because there still might be some insects that are overwintering in them. Leaving the leaves as they fall in the winter, it does a few things. It allows those insects to kind of overwinter, and also it acts as like a good mulch layer to kind of protect the soil over the winter. And it's just natural, it's free. Like, you just leave the leaves, and then you can deal with them later. Like I said, I'm not burning them or anything like that. I'm not even like cutting them up. I'm just leaving them in a pile in the yard so that those insects can continue to overwinter in them. Take the irrigation and move it out of the way because my brother is coming behind me and he's adding soil to all these beds. This bed is pretty depleted. I mean, the soil still looks pretty good. Like, the soil is very soft, almost like really loamy, but we do need to add some nutrition, so we are adding compost on top. Also, don't make fun of my garden sandals. I only exclusively garden in these sandals with socks. I don't know why. It's just what's most comfortable. Gonna remove this A-frame trellis. This is one of the new A-frames from Epic Gardening, and I really like it. It's like really sturdy, so I'm definitely reusing this year. I tried to grow cucumbers up this last year, but last year was not a good cucumber year for North Carolina in general. So hopefully this year will be a good cucumber year. But this has got to go out of the way for right now. Here's my fiance, Ryan. He's decided to work on the chicken coop today. The chicken coop needed like a full clean out. So he ran to Lowe's and got some sand. We don't get the play sand, we get the construction sand. It's like a thicker type of, grainier type of sand. So yeah, he's got his ventilator on because very important to wear ventilation when you are cleaning out a chicken coop because histoplasmosis is not cute. We don't want none of that. This is my brother, Trevor. We're twins.
Twins.
Just kidding. He's actually my younger brother. 4 years younger than me.
Unfortunately.
Wait, why do you say unfortunately? So it's time to tackle all of this, and my brother, he actually suggested that we just get rid of this entire bed that he's pulling up because all it is it's just an old pallet board, like a really long pallet bed that I got. I don't even remember where I got this paddle bed from, but it's time for that to go. It's just time. And I'm going to replace it with one of these beds from Epic Gardening, these cedar beds. I got this one last year. I really love it. And it's about the same size as the pallet bed, so I think I'm just going to get another one of these to go over there. It's going to look so much better. We're going to put that dirt here. So I just got to trim up all of these dead things. Now I'm just going to get all of these weeds out of here. I love this little weeder tool because I've been hunched over all day and the last thing I want to do is bend over to pull out these weeds. So this makes it super easy. So got this area semi-clear, got it cleared out to put the bed right here. So I've got to get that bed ordered. Got the weeds for the most part. I'm gonna have to have like a weed day where all I do is pull weeds because the weeds are just crazy. But I got a lot of the big ones, and I can always put cardboard down to kill them as well. But I'm gonna leave this for now. I'm satisfied with this. I'm gonna start tackling this trellis. We're kind of running out of daylight. I think this is gonna definitely turn into a multi-weekend thing, not just one weekend, because there's just that much to do. But I can at least get these trellises cleared and debris. This is the most annoying part because all these vines are so like intertwined and you gotta kind of just rip it off in pieces. I'm gonna take this down because it keeps making a noise. So I meant to film this earlier when it was full, but this is the compost that I had delivered. It's called Soil Cubed. I used this last year and I really liked the compost. It's really light and fluffy. It's almost empty, but this was a huge bag. I mean, it was like massive. If I can find like a photo of a full one, I'll put one in. They're kind of like, they're relatively okay in price. It's $200 for per one of these, and I feel like it is it's a lot of soil. You get a lot of compost, really good quality compost for $200. I would say it's like mid-range, because if you live somewhere near like a bulk compost place that you could get it for cheaper, I just haven't found anywhere near me that I feel like is really good compost, except for this one. And I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I bought this with my own money, and I've used this for a couple of years. So this is what we're doing. We're hauling it to the backyard. I'm back. It is a new day. It is the next day. We got so caught up in like trying to get everything done that we could before the sun went down that I kind of didn't film. It's like hard to film and get work done at the same time, especially when you're kind of short on time. I'm working on it. But anyway, it's the next day. I'm going to show you everything that we got done. There's a huge weight like lifted off my shoulders, even though I would say we're only like 50% of the way completely done. Just having that 50%, I feel so much lighter. We got a lot of the beds reset, topped up with fresh compost. There is nothing better than this. Like, it's just a blank slate, and then there's a perennial there in the corner, like one random perennial. I think that's marjoram, but it hasn't started coming back yet. Anyway, blank slates, blank slate here, got the lemon balm. As I said, I'm gonna leave these brush piles until it starts getting a little bit warmer, until temperatures start to get consistently 50 degrees, because that's when a lot of the bugs kind of emerge from being overwintered. So if there's any bugs or anything like that, I just kind of want to leave them in a little brush pile. So we will deal with those when the weather gets a little bit warmer. Overall, the garden is still looking messy, but kind of put together at the same time. Didn't get like much done over this way. Gotta rip those strawberries out. That's gonna save that for another weekend. That's gonna take a while. Didn't really touch that bed. There's some turnips in there that I need to harvest, but got all of this debris and everything taken off of the trellis. So these two beds are ready to go. Got new compost topped up on those. Got new compost over in this bed. It's like all of the blank space is just making me so excited. I'm going to be direct sowing some spring seeds very soon. That's going to be a whole separate video. Got that one done over there. Again, there's like some random brush piles, like sticks and stuff that I need to kind of consolidate, but I didn't have time. Got this bed topped up over here, as well as that one there and that one over there. Some random little kale and broccoli that overwintered. I actually need to harvest these little broccolis. Yeah, maybe I can cut these for dinner tonight. Didn't really get to this area. We topped up that bed over there, but I still need to remove this entire structure. We did get this whole area kind of sorted. As you can see, like there's some decent light in this area. I would say it's like teetering on the edge of part and full sun, because obviously it's in between like two structures. So like a certain part of the day it's shaded by the shed, and then another certain part of the day it might get shaded by the greenhouse a little bit, like right now, but the shading only goes like there. So it's a pretty good spot where things do grow really well. Excited to get another bed ordered. I actually just ordered it. So hopefully that'll be here and I can work on that next weekend. All of this cleared out so that the summer bulbs can pop up. I think I've got like gladiolus and stuff planted here. And then there's like a pineapple sage that always like comes and like takes over like a big portion of this area. So it looks like not a lot now, but things will start popping up here. All of the structures and stuff that I took out are just kind of leaning against here, but these are gonna be back out into the garden before we know it. We got the whole chicken coop reset, new sand, new bedding, new nesting pads, everything. So the girls are happy. Some of my potted fruit trees, got those topped up. I need to add mulch to everything that we topped up, but they're ready to go. I just can't wait. I can't wait. Not much happened over here. That is gonna be a whole separate weekend as well. So it's like, I don't know, we worked all day long and we definitely got done not as much as I thought we would get done. But I'm still happy with what we did get accomplished. Every spring, I'm always reminded like how much work gardening really is. If you have a garden this size, it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work for one person to do. So I'm really thankful to my brother for coming to help this weekend. I'm really thankful to my fiance. It definitely, went by a lot quicker than it did me in years prior, just out here by myself trying to like break my back. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's good work. This is so good for my mental health. Like yesterday, we were out here for 7 hours nonstop, just working, but it didn't feel like work. It actually felt like therapy. I was in such a good mood all day. The sun was shining. It was just, it is therapy. So it doesn't, even though it is hard work, it doesn't like feel like hard work to me. Like this is where, I don't know, gardening is just so good for my mental health. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. The way that it allows you to like focus on doing something that is so far outside of everyday life, and you're connecting yourself to nature, and you're just putting your heart and soul into something that is going to give back to you. There's something so healing about that. I don't know. So as you can see, there's probably going to be like a part 2 to this because there's still so much to do. Let me know if you guys enjoy these vlog style videos. I enjoy making them, but I want to know if you're enjoying them. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Substack. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.